Hello friends, welcome to Yadnya Investment Academy. Today we are going to talk about India and China trade numbers. We will see around last 20 years history, what exactly happened, how this particular equation got changed, and now when the numbers were reversing, so we are seeing some kind of differences at the border. So we need to see these numbers properly. In the year 2000 or financial year 2000, the trade deficit with China was almost zero. There was no trade deficit actually. But last financial year, that is financial year 2020, the total trade deficit with China was $48.6 billion. 1.7% of Indian GDP number. So this is huge, friends. In last 20 years, from 0 to $48.6 billion is a big jump for China, but for us this is not a very positive sign. Now in FY 2000, whatever we were importing in that year, the total imports, whatever total imports, out of them 2.6% imports were from China. But now in FY 2020, this number is 14% of all imports or total imports. So whatever we are importing from the all over world, so out of that 14% is from China. So this is huge. So $65 billion is the figure for last year's imports. So it's not a small amount. So it means when the trade deficit is $48.6 billion, it means the amount of exports we were making last year FY20 was $16.6 billion. There is one silver lining though. In financial year 2017-18, the total imports from China as a percentage of all imports was 16.4%. So at least from financial year 2018, we have started seeing the number going down from 16.4% of all imports in financial year 2018 to 14% of all imports in financial year 2020. So this is a positive sign. So at least we were seeing some kind of actions from government, specifically in sectors like commodity, like steel industry or tire industry. So a lot of actions were taken by government of India. They have increased the import duties, and that's why we have seen the numbers going down 16.4% to 14% of all imports. So that was a positive sign. Now in FY20, the total exports from India to China were $16.6 billion. So whatever we are exporting to whole world, out of that 5.3% was going to China. So when we are importing from China, 14% of all imports are from China, but when we are exporting to China, 5.3% of the total exports are going to China. So this particular number is not that positive, and that's why the trade deficit is at $48.6 billion, which is 1.7% of last year's GDP. Now, if we look at FY16 numbers for the exports, so total exports, whatever we were exporting to all over world, out of that 3.4% was going to China. So it means in last 4 years we were trying to improve our export numbers with China from 3.4% of all exports to 5.3% of the all exports. So that was a positive sign. So now if we look at why we are seeing that why China was exporting a lot of things to India, but they were not generating jobs, and how we can see these numbers. So we will have to look at the foreign direct investment, which is a long-term money which comes into economies. So FDI inflow, if we look at, so total FDI inflows in last 20 years, since financial year 2000 to financial year 2020. So total FDI inflow was $470.1 billion, $470 billion total FDI inflows we have seen in India in last 20 years. But out of which hardly $2.4 billion money came from China. So this shows the long-term commitment of the capital commitment is not coming in India from China. So that is not a very positive sign. The kind of trade deficits we are seeing every year, friends, every year we are sending around $48 billion. So at least last year's numbers if we are looking at, so $48.6 billion of trade deficit in last 20 years. How much China has invested in India for the long term capital, if we look at the, is hardly $2.4 billion. So this shows there is no commitment from China's side. Why do we need FDI? We need FDI because that FDI money is a long-term money which our economy receives, and from that money we generate a lot of jobs, manufacturing plants get built and all those things. So that is a very positive sign for a country like India. But China is not doing that. So whatever we are doing, we are importing the finished products from China, or at least whatever raw materials we are importing, that we are using to manufacture or assemble here. So which is not very high skill job, and it will not pay, or it will not generate too many jobs. So that is the pain point we are having currently, and this should be addressed. So at least whatever government of India currently saying of Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is self-reliant by India. So that is very positive sign. We are not saying, we are not against any foreign company or foreign money coming into India. What we are saying, yes, definitely you are most welcome to come to India, but you will have to manufacture here. You will have to create jobs. You will have to support our economy. You just can't take our money out of India and enjoy that. So that stakeholding feeling should be there with these companies, and that is very much required in today's world. Definitely there will be some sectors which will be impacted because of this. Specifically, if we look at these sectors which will be impacted by these import duty measures, if government of India takes them. So first sector would be auto sector. A lot of manufacturing or components are the companies are making in China, and they are exporting to India. So that particular one sector, at least 27-30% dependency is on China, so it will be impacted. Number two sector would be consumer durables. So consumer durables, like companies like Havells, Crompton Greaves, Voltas and all those things. So those companies can get impacted because of this particular thing. Then pharma industry, 60-70% of the raw material for pharma industries come from China, and this is a big dependency on China. So definitely these companies are going to be impacted in coming quarters if those import duties or the relationships deteriorate from these levels. Now the fourth industry is telecom industry. A lot of telecom network equipments are imported from China. So definitely companies like Vodafone or Bharti Airtel will be impacted by these things. At least Reliance Jio is not that impacted because there is hardly any exposure to China in network equipment space. Now the fifth sector is chemical and agrochemical. So here also a lot of raw material is getting imported from China. So there will be we have seen there was a secular bull run in chemical and agrochemical companies stocks in last 2-3 years, majorly because a lot of production in China was impacted because they applied for blue sky policy, where those industries which were polluting the environment, they banned those industries, and that's why a lot of them came to India, and our Indian chemical or specialty chemical industry got flourished. And so, but they are still making the raw material, they are exporting the raw material, but actual production and all those things were happening in India. So this particular industry will be impacted. Definitely there are two more industries, which is electronics and toy industries. Those will also be impacted, but I think for those industries in India, there should be some replacement. Hopefully, we have some companies, Dixon Technologies or Amber Enterprises, those will be benefited a lot by these things. So we'll have to watch those stocks also. Dixon Technologies, already we have made one video for our stock subscribers or channel members. So definitely you can join our channel membership, or you can go to our website investornet.in, and from there you can subscribe to our stock video subscriptions. Friends, if you feel we are doing a good work, definitely you should visit our website investinland.in. From there you can try our model portfolios also, you can try our stock video subscriptions also. We do mutual fund reviews also. Every month we analyze 200 plus video mutual funds, so it will help you to build your mutual fund portfolio also. If you feel you want some kind of assistance into portfolio restructuring, or you want to do your complete financial planning, so those services are also available on our website. You can go and subscribe to those services also. So we hope you would have liked this video. Stay home, stay healthy, and keep investing. Thank you. Jai Hind.